Hello everybody, we've got a new poll from the Old School RuneScape team, so let's go ahead and vote in this poll. So, this is the Old School Content Poll 34, XP Droplets and Slayer. This is quite a big poll, and they recommend that you know what's happening in the developer blog before you go ahead and vote. If you want to see my video on that, please click here. So, question 1. Should the experience tracker and experience drops be added to Old School RuneScape? This would add a small icon by the minimap that can be clicked to show experience gained since the tracker was last reset. Every time you gain experience with the tracker open, a number will fall out of the bottom of the tracker, showing you how much experience was gained. This will be toggleable. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I think an XP tracker is a nice quality of life update. Next, question 2. Should they allow Old School bonds to be redeemed for a display name change? Personally, I don't really understand why we need this update. I can understand that having to wait to change your name can be annoying. However, it's not really a long amount of time. I believe it's about 30 days. However, this is the thing that makes me think I really don't want it. Old School bonds should be cheap in-game. Players should be able to get their membership quite easily with in-game money, and players buying gold with their real-life money shouldn't be able to get that much gold. I think this would maybe raise the price of Old School bonds a bit, and I do not like that. So I'm going to vote no to that. Next, question 3. Should it be possible to purchase RuneFest tickets, accommodation and transport using Old School bonds? Similar to before, I think that we shouldn't do anything to really affect the price of bonds. And really, until we have a really big section of RuneFest that is dedicated to Old School, I don't think it's worth it. So personally, I think I'm going to vote no on that. Next, question 4. Should they add 2 icons to the challenge window at the Jewel Arena that will warn you when your hit points or prayer points are not full? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes on that. It's a very handy function for the Jewel Arena. Question 5. Should stats be fully restored at the start of a duel? This will prevent players accidentally entering duels with lowered stats. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I don't really see any downsides to that, especially because when you do leave the duel, you have your stats restored anyway. Next, question 6. Should they add a feature that allows you to choose which F keys open each side panel? This would include the ability to have the escape key close the interface you currently have open, such as a bank, or even this poll screen. I'm personally not too sure about this one. I quite like the idea of having the freedom of choosing which keys we want, and I do like the ability to use the escape key to close the interface. However, I find it strange that some people will be using completely different key setups. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes, because I think it will be useful, and many players will enjoy it. Next, question 7. Should players be able to unlock the chance of getting boss monsters as Slayer assignments through the Slayer reward point shop? I think that's quite a nice idea. Many people like to kill bosses, especially when they get a Slayer task, such as demons. So having this would just allow them to get a lot more bosses killed for Slayer. I'm going to vote yes. Next, question 8. Should they introduce Cerberus, the Hellhound boss, as described in the developer blog? Now I quite like the sound of Cerberus. It looks really cool, and sounds like a really interesting boss. The one thing I'm really unsure about is the fact it has quite powerful rewards. However, I feel that the fact that they will provide an item sync for many of our amazing boots in-game, and dragon tools, makes them not so bad. So despite the fact it has these powerful items, I think I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. It does sound and look like an interesting boss. Similarly, with question 9. Should they introduce the Abyssal Sire, the Abyssal Demon boss as described in the developer blog? I quite like the idea of this boss. Abyssal Demons are quite an iconic Slayer creature, and having a boss for them will be really cool. Again, I'm a little unsure about the drops, especially because these ones don't seem to have any clear benefits such as item syncs. However, I really do like the sound of this boss, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes on that. I do find bosses quite interesting, even though I don't really boss myself. Moving on, question 10. Should players be able to unlock the chance of getting Tsar Slayer assignments through the Slayer Rewards point shop? Upon receiving this task from a Slayer Master, you'll be given the choice of either killing the given number of Tsar monsters, or taking on the challenge of completing the Fight Cave. I think that's quite a nice idea. I'm not really too sure how many people will be choosing the Fight Cave, perhaps that should have been a different question, but I like the fact of having Tsar monsters as a task. Next, question 11. Should there be a very small chance of receiving a Tuztok Jad pet after killing Tuztok Jad? Now I know this is going to be a very popular option, but personally I don't really like the look of Tuztok Jad, and the fact that you can get some form of Jad pet in RuneScape 3 really puts me off this pet. So I'm going to actually go ahead and vote no. Pets are nice and all, but I think just having boss pets throughout the entire game just makes it seem really strange. Maybe if we had more mid-level pets, I'd feel a bit more comfortable with having more higher level pets. Next, question 12. Should extensions to tasks listed in the developer blog be added to the Slayer Rewards point shop? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. That sounded like a nice little update. Next, question 13. Should the herb sack, an item that can store up to 30 of each grimy herb, be added to the Slayer Reward point shop? Now, I'm a little unsure about this. 30 herbs is quite a lot, although it's a lot less than what they originally said, which was 100. However, they said it was going to cost about 750 Slayer points, which is a lot of Slayer points, so I think it'll be definitely worth it, and if you do have your Slayer points that high, then it'll be really good to buy one. So I think I'll vote yes to that. Next, question 14. Should the Stronghold Slayer Cave be extended, adding black demons and blue and red dragons? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. They're quite popular Slayer tasks, and putting them in that cave might be very helpful for Slayers. Although it's a shame that we're moving everything to just the one dungeon, as opposed to actually going around and exploring lots of dungeons. Next, question 15. Should they increase the amount of black demons, blue, and baby blue dragons in Tavley Dungeon, red dragons in Brimhaven Dungeon, and introduce baby green dragons to Brimhaven Dungeon? Now before I said this would probably be better if they split this up into two sections. Mostly because I'm perfectly happy with adding a few more black demons, blue and baby blue dragons in Tavley Dungeon, red dragons in Brimhaven Dungeon. However, I'm a little unsure about introducing baby green dragons to Brimhaven Dungeon. They said they will still be in the wilderness, which is an interesting idea, so I don't really see any advantage to having them. So for that reason, I'm going to have to vote no. I want this question to be split up. Sure, increase the amount of black demons, blue and baby blue dragons in Tavley, the red dragons in Brimhaven Dungeon, but can we just have a separate question for introducing the baby green dragons? Next, question 16. Should Dark Beasts and Spiritual Mage drop tables be improved slightly, as detailed in the developer blog? So the Dark Beast is going to get a few more generic drop things, and the Spiritual Mage is just going to have a small increase in things such as runes. Seems basic enough, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Next, question 17. Should Slayer assignment tables be reworked as described in the developer blog? Now that sounds quite good. It seems that at the moment it's very stacked on certain monsters, and depending on some strange stats. There's even a few requirements, such as 110 combat on Dark Beasts, which seems completely unnecessary. Next, question 18. Since the release of God Wars Dungeon, Kriara's magic attack has been calculated whether or not it hits based on your range defense. Should this be changed so Kriara's magic attack calculates whether or not it hits based on your magic defense? This change will likely have an impact on the difficulty of the boss. Now I've been thinking about this one, and I've decided that it doesn't make any sense to have it calculated on your ranged defense, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I hope that the difficulty of the boss remains somewhat similar to where it is now, but to me, having a magic attack calculated on ranged defense just doesn't seem to make any sense. Next, question 19. Should the Wilderness Swords, one of the rewards for completing any of the Wilderness Achievement Diaries, be able to cut through any spiderweb without fail? Now, in my developer blog video, I was saying that perhaps we could have it so it just scales with each tier of sword, with the Elite Sword being able to cut through all the time, and the Easy Sword being able to cut through the majority of the time. Now, they've not changed the question, however, I'm going to go ahead and vote yes, because I still think that's quite a nice reward from the Achievement Diaries. Next, question 20. Should the additional kill messages introduced in the Bounty Hunter update be removed? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. They aren't particularly nice. Next, question 21. Should the shortcut in the Calphite lair be moved to take you much closer to the Calphite Queen room entrance? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Obviously that shortcut is to take you to the Calphite Queen, so if it's not that close to the Calphite Queen's room, then what's the point in the shortcut? Next, question 22. Should a new right-click option be added to clue scrolls to let you know how many steps you've completed? For clue scrolls, I think this is a bit redundant. However, I suppose a few people might like to know how many steps they've completed, and I have no real strong objections against it, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Next, question 23. Should the bank deposit box found in Port Khazar be replaced with a bank chest? I'm going to go ahead and vote no. I think that will be very powerful. There are multiple banks near there. There are many sort of transportations in the area, so you can go from bank to there very easily. However, I've got a strong feeling people will be voting yes. Next, question 24. should the Carol's Coif have a range attack of +7? It currently has a range attack of +3. So in the developer blog they actually said, should it have a range attack of +5? I was thinking it's a little low, very reasonable. Now it's saying +7, I'm thinking, oh, it's a little bit higher. However, when I was making the developer blog video, I compared it to the other range headgear, and for a level 70 tier piece of armor, +3 isn't very good. So I think +7's quite good. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes on that. Next, question 25. Should a fairy ring be added to Ape Atoll? This fairy ring would only be usable after returning to Dario and completing your training after Monkey Madness. Now I don't really see any reason to have this. However, I've been thinking, and I don't really have any strong objections against it. It depends where it is. Would it be the same place as RuneScape 3 or not? I'm unsure. That seemed a bit of a quest location, and I think having a decent agility level would be nice, because that was near the agility course. I think before I was originally more against this, but now I think I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Next, question 26. Should an option to count the number of players in a boss room be added for each boss in Old School? Now this sounds like a very useful update. However, there's something strange I find about it. I'm going to be going ahead and voting yes. However, I just find there's something strange about having to be able to count how many people are in each boss room. Next, question 27. Should the message that warns you when your cannon is about to decay be recolored to stand out more? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. That'll be very useful when I'm using my cannon. Next, question 28. Shall a coloured message appear in your chat box when you receive a champion challenge drop? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Obviously they're very rare and you need to make sure you see if you get one of those drops. Next, question 29. Should the doors of Barbarian Assault be made to stay open permanently? Well, now there's a bank chest there, it would make a lot more sense. Banks tend to have permanent doors that open. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Next, question 30. Should Purdue, the NPC found upstairs in the Edgefield General Store, who sells back some untradeable items, sell back Achievement Diary equipment? I'm going to go ahead and vote no. I don't really like the way that Purdue works, and I think there's a few better alternatives than just selling back Achievement Diary equipment. Potentially you can get multiple versions of the same equipment. Next, question 31. Should the Clan Wars free-for-all portal inside the arena be moved further north, nearer to the line where the combat zone begins? Now I don't really see any reason to do this, however I don't see any reason not to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Next, question 32. Should they revert the maple log item graphic to match the other logs in-game? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes, and in fact I'd quite like them to poll changing the staff back to being similar to the battle staff. Next, question 33. Should the Borthup teleport on the Games necklace and the Games Room minigame teleport have their destination switched? This would mean the Games Room necklace takes you to the castle courtyard and the minigame teleport takes you to just outside the Games Room. Now originally I think I was a bit against this. Obviously I was thinking a Games Room necklace, if you want to go to the Games Room, you want to get there straight away. However, I think it will probably encourage more people to get Games Room necklaces because going to the courtyard is a very handy location. You can get to places such as the Heroes Guild and the Warriors Guild very quickly, and if you still want to go to the Games Room, you're there. And if you're using the minigame teleport, which I'm not really a fan of, you'll get straight to the minigame, and hopefully you'll be using that minigame teleport because you want to play the game. So I'm actually going to go ahead and vote yes. Next, question 34. Should they add an Implink jar to the contents of Hunter Kits created with the Lunar Spell Hunter Kit? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I don't really have any strong objections against that. And in fact, it might even help people that enjoy hunting down Implinks. Next, question 35. Should they add a tradable, stackable item that can be purchased from and sold to an NPC for 1,000 coins? This would allow players with enough money to exceed the limit for a single item stack to keep hold of their gold without running out of space. The Grand Exchange and shops would still only accept coins, not this new item, when paying for items. Now originally this was meant to be an item that was worth 1 billion coins. I don't understand why they've reduced it to 1,000 coins, however it would still help with this sort of stackable issue with coins. And if they need, in the future they could still add another item similar to this that's worth 1 billion coins. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Next, question 36. Should they add the air guitar emote and the music cape? These will become available after unlocking every music track. Now, like I said in my developer blog video, I'd love the air guitar emote. However, the music cape, I really don't want. So I'm actually going to vote no on that. If this fails, and the Old School team wants to poll the air guitar emote separately, then I'd be very happy for them to do that. And finally, question 37. Should an option be added to the player-owned house menu to summon your butler when you're in your house? This option would only function when you have a bell in your house. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. That'll be very useful when I'm doing construction. Finally, I'm going to go ahead and vote, and then we can go and check out the results of this poll. So far we've had 10,526 votes. I'd say we've probably got about maybe another 20,000 to go. However, let's have a look at the results, just to have a rough estimate about where this poll's going. So, 94.1% want an experience tracker and experience drops to be added to Old School. 68.5% want Old School bonds to be redeemed for name changes. 62.5% want Old School bonds to be redeemed for RuneFest tickets, accommodation, transport, etc. 76% want the 2 icons at the Duel Arena to warn you when your hit points or your prayer points are not full. 91% want your stats to be fully recovered when you start a duel. 85.4% want a feature to customize your F keys to open each side panel. 84.4% want players to unlock the chance of getting boss monsters as Slayer assignments for the Slayer reward point shop. 89.1% want Cerberus, the Hellhound boss, to be introduced. 89.2% want the Abyssal Sire, the Abyssal Demon boss, to be introduced. 89.6% want players to be able to unlock the chance of getting Tsar Slayer assignments, and then if you get that, be given the chance of doing the Fight Cave as Slayer. 91.3% want a very small chance of getting a Tuztok Jad pet after killing Tuztok Jad. 87.9% want the extensions to Slayer tasks listed in the developer blog to be added to the Slayer reward point shop. 85.3% want the Herb Sack to be added to the Slayer reward point shop. 84.7% want the Stronghold Slayer Cave to be extended, adding black demons and blue and red dragons. 84.6% want the amount of black demons, blue and baby blue dragons in Tavli Dungeon, red dragons in Brimhaven Dungeon, and an introduction of baby green dragons to Brimhaven Dungeon. 90.1% want dark beasts and spiritual mages to have an improved drop table. 81.5% want Slayer assignment tables to be reworked. 62% want Kriara's magic attack to be changed, to be calculated on your magic defense rather than your ranged defense. 91.8% want the Wilderness Swords to be able to slash through any spider web without fail. 53.9% want the additional kill messages introduced with Bounty Hunter to be removed. 83.7% want the shortcut in the Calfight lair to take you much closer to the Calfight Queen's room entrance. 89.8% want a new right-click option to be added to clue scrolls to show how many steps you've done. 82.8% want the bank deposit box found in Port Khazar to be replaced with a bank chest. 88.6% want the Carol's Coif to have a range attack of +7 instead of +3. 88.6% want the Pharaoh Ring to be added to Apatol. 84.9% want an option to count the number of players in a boss room. 89.8% want a message that warns you when your cannon's about to decay to be recolored to stand out more. 92.7% want a coloured message to appear in the chat box when you receive a champion challenge drop. 86.1% want the doors at Barbarian Assault to be made to stay open permanently. 88.9% want Purdue, the NPC found upstairs in Edgeville General Store, to sell back Achievement Diary equipment. 58.9% want the Clan Wars free-for-all portal to be moved further north to where the combat zone begins. 77.5% want the Maple Log item graphic to be reverted to match all the other logs in game. 86.1% want the Borthorpe teleport on the games necklace and the games room minigame teleport to have their destination switched. 83.9% want the Impling jar to be added to the contents of Hunter kits created with the Lunar Spell Hunter kit. 73.8% want a tradable, stackable item that can be purchased from and sold to an NPC for 1,000 coins. Whoa, in fact I've just realised that it said it was going to be a tradable item. In the developer blog they said it was going to be an untradable item. It's close to passing, so I don't mind too much either way, but I would prefer if that was untradable. 87.5% want the air guitar remote and a music cape. And finally, 93.1% want an option in the player-owned house menu to summon your butler. So this has been a very interesting poll. I was a little bit surprised that the stackable item that costs 1,000 coins wasn't passing, but then I saw that it was tradable, so I'm less surprised about it. Like I said, it's near 75%, so we'll see if it passes. There's a few other things that have surprised me, such as the Clan Wars free-for-all portal being moved closer to the combat zone. I'm a little disappointed about things like Purdue selling back Achievement Diary items. Obviously a lot of players want to be able to get the items back quickly, however I just feel that Purdue isn't the best way to do that. Many of these things I'm very happy with, such as the recolors on warnings or actually adding a message to your chat box when you get a few drops. However, there's a few things I'm a little unsure about. For example, I really don't want the bank to be added to Port Czar, but it looks like it's going to happen, so I'm going to have to live with that. But hey, you know, that's the beauty of having these community-based games. One thing I was quite shocked at was how little support we've got for the removing the additional kill messages in Bounty Hunter. They are just awful. But hey, people have voted that, and it looks like we're probably going to be keeping them. Similar, I'm quite surprised that Kriara's magic attack isn't going to be changed to be calculated on magic defense, because it just makes more sense. But I suppose people that kill the boss just don't want the difficulty of the boss to be changed. Again, like I said, I'm a little upset at the fact that they didn't separate the baby green dragons from the question of increasing the number of NPCs found in these dungeons. But hey, that's passing, so we'll probably be getting those. And it's quite interesting that a lot of these Slayer things are passing. In fact, it looks like all of the Slayer things are passing, which is quite good because a lot of those Slayer things are really nice. I'm a little unsure about having the customizable F keys. Like I said, I found that rather weird. Everything else looks quite good. It's interesting to note the lack of support for adding extra things that you can buy with Old School bonds. I think as Old School players just want it for membership, and that is it. Personally, I decided when they decided to add Old School RuneScape bonds, I felt it was really pushed on us, because they said, you can have free to play, but we must have bonds. And I think they just dealt with the situation badly. If you haven't voted in this developer blog yet, please go ahead and vote. It's very important that the game is something the community wants. If you're unsure about some of the things, it's really important that you check out my developer blog, so please click here for my video on that. If you want to watch the latest update to Old School RuneScape, please click here for multiple clue scrolls and the Midsummer event. And if you want to watch the latest news posts, please click here for RuneFest 2015, save the date. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, dev blogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.